Well. Welcome to Scaling to 8 Figures. This is a video series where I share with you the raw reality, the wins, the losses, the pain, and eventually the glory behind scaling a brand to crazy numbers. I'm going to be sharing everything with you: the logistics issues, the ad scaling, building a team. I'm going to be going through it all. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I want to thank you for being a part of this journey, and it starts now. This video is called The Story So Far. Okay, so before we get into the brand building side, I think it's important that you know who I am and where I've been in the context to why I want to now build my own brand. So I have worked with brands all the way from 10K a month all the way up to 1.8 million per month. And I've been pretty fundamental in growing a lot of the brands that I work with on a consulting basis. So I watched a video recently where a guy was talking about your 20s are for learning, your 30s and 40s are for doing. And it really struck a chord with me, especially now that I'm looking to build my own brands, because I've had the luxury of getting paid for the last 8, 9 years consulting brands. Been doing this since I was 19, 20. I'm about to turn 29, which is pretty scary. And I've had the luxury of taking cash flow in by consulting these brands, helping them grow. But the lessons I've learned, I mean, if you put this into a university course, you'd probably be charging $250,000. I've seen some wild wins, I've seen some wild losses, and not only from the Facebook ads and Google ads marketing side, which usually I take command of or consult on, but from the hiring side, warehouse side, logistics, PR, even all of those things. I've literally seen it all. So it seems appropriate now to start building my own brands. And I was on holiday in Malta last year. And it's funny how, as an entrepreneur, you're so in the trenches, in the computer all the time, that you never really have that much time to think where you're at. And after 2 days, I think it was, I literally started building a brand in my own head and on a notepad with paper. And I think I knew then. I said to my missus, I was like, the time is now. So that's a bit of context on who I am. I actually have a list of things that we're going to get through in this video. So sorry if this doesn't seem super professional. I'm actually going to see what the next one is that I wrote down. Why I started this brand. Okay, I've literally just answered that. But yeah, essentially, I have started this brand because the time feels right. And I've worked with loads of other brands, scaled them to crazy heights. It's time to make myself super rich. That was a joke, but it kind of wasn't. The next point is choosing the product and niche. So I have decided to go into the women's makeup niche, which is random for a guy to get into. I do have some inside info, you know what I'm saying? They are useful for more than one thing, fellas. But yeah, essentially, I have chose the women's makeup niche, and I've chose a product that is a consumable. It can be used again and again. So we've offered subscriptions. Now, I can get into more detail around why I've chose this, and there's many different reasons why I've chose this. First of all, the women's market, they just buy more than men. It's just an easier market to convert, and it's just things like that are obviously easier to scale if they're higher converting. Reusable products that you need on a subscription makes cash flow a lot easier. You can build up residual, and my goal is really to get to 100K per month in subscribers and then scale beyond that, because then every month you just know that you have 100K in subscriptions. And obviously, I'm not a woman and I don't really know that niche too well. But on the offer side, we have everything dialed in. I'm going to go through like the numbers when I started this brand, like all of that later on in this video. But it is a women's makeup product. It's reusable, it runs out, you need it on subscription, and we're offering 20% off a one-time purchase price for subscriptions because they're so much more scalable. Okay, so before I launched the brand, and this is a really funny story, probably one that I shouldn't admit, but I'm just going to tell you exactly how we did it. So I got the product samples. I wasn't a fan, I'm not the biggest fan of drop shipping, especially if you're trying to build like a huge brand. So I wanted to get some samples in, but the minimum order quantity for these things is crazy. We're talking over 1,000 units per flavor. And yes, there's multiple variants. We'll get into that later on, or maybe in another video, and why that's valuable. But the minimum order quantity was crazy, so it was going to be a real commitment. We're talking minimum about £12,000. So I got some samples, and what I did is I built the entire website with my team, and we ran some Facebook ads, we made some creatives, we paid creators. I think overall it probably cost us just under £1,000 to get started. And what we did is we just put the ads live and just said the product was in stock. Now, I probably shouldn't, yeah, whatever. I said it was going to be raw. We put the product on sale and we started to run ads and we started to get sales. Now, this proved the concept for me. I was more than happy to say, okay, it's not crazy return on ad spend, but it has legs. Let's go. Like, let's order some product. So what we'd do is we would phone up and go, hey, Claire or Kelly or whoever it is, we would say, unfortunately, there's been a website error and essentially it isn't in stock. So we're going to refund you right now. And we made sure that we called the customers like ASAP, no delay. And we said, we just processed your refund and we're going to send you 20% off when it's back in stock. We did this to about 20 customers. And it was definitely a case of bending the rules, but I didn't want to spend crazy amounts of money without some sort of proof of concept. So we did that, and I decided to order our first load of stock. Now, I talked about variants. That's going to be much more important later in the video for our breakthrough, let's call it. But that's a bit further on. We ordered 4 different flavors of this product, and we started to run ads. So, as I said, it had legs, but this was not going to be a home run from day one. Obviously, we have a lot of testing to do with offers, price points, all of that. And this was just a time for the next couple of months to do all of that. So I'm going to put up like a screenshot here. September, we launched the brand and we spent 1,116 on ads. And we did 2,110 in orders at a 1.89 return on ad spend, which is just not great. So it's okay, it's a start, but it wasn't amazing. Then in October, we started to switch up prices, we did a lot more testing, and we were able to spend a bit more, and we did £6,173 in sales, and we did £3,396 in advertising at a return on ad spend of 1.84, which again is not great. Then November came around and we scaled up because I wanted to test a few different price points. We got our price point that we are happy with and our shipping threshold. We managed to get people to spend more per order, and we're able to spend a lot more. At this point, I was happy just to acquire customers because we knew that we were getting a certain amount back on subscriptions anyway, so there would be some sort of compounding effect. But we did £20,000, well, 20,252, and we spent £11,406 on ads, 1.79 return on ad spend. Now, all of these ad spends that we have here I'm just going to call them roughly break even. We haven't dialed in the numbers and we don't know exactly what it was. Maybe it's a slight loss, but it's a roundabout break even. Now, you're probably thinking right now, okay, you're actually insane. I thought we were scaling to 8 figures, but just wait, just you wait. Then December, we did a lot more conversion rate testing, and we were able to get our 4 flavors at above a 2x. Oh, nice. But it was December, so yeah, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Everybody's buying everything. 16,000 and 69, and we spent 7,701 on ads. And then January came about. Now this is where things started to take turn. And I'd have a conversation myself as a business owner. We had 4 flavors, and the main complaint that we were getting back from customers, we had minimal product complaints, which is amazing. So we had no issues there. But the main issue that we were having is people were just saying, oh, do you have this flavor? Do you have that? And we're like, no, please buy the other one. Like, please buy the other one. So I had to look at this and say, okay, I've plowed a load of money into this. Now, it is a considerable amount of money. I was about to say, maybe it's not crazy money, but it is considerable, right? So the only answer was spending that considerable amount of money again, plus the stock that we needed to replenish. And what I had to do was take myself out of the mind of a brand owner and put myself back into the brain space of myself as a consultant. So I'm thinking, okay, let's say this is a client, they have unlimited funds. As soon as I thought that, I was like, if this was a client, I'd just tell them to order more flavors because they're going to hit like a 3x. That was my thoughts. So I had to take the leap of faith. And this was a hard part for me because I really, really had to put my money where my mouth is. And anyway, let's just get into the results. So in January, the stock arrived just at the end of January. So February is really where it kicked off. And we did 9,155 and we did 4,118 in sales. 2.29 return on ad spend. And you can see here that at the end of the month started to kick off. So then our new stock arrived, the new flavors. And February, we did a 3.74 return on ad spend. It was game changing. The leap of faith was worth it. I was just honestly like, it was just so sick. Last month, I was so happy. So we did 16,220 with 4,382 spent on advertising at a 3.7 return on ad spend. And I'm very proud because out of all of that, we only did 133 in returns. People are super happy with the product, which is amazing. And now this month, we have a slower month, and I'll get into that right now. But return on ad spend is at a 5.69. So the leap of faith worked. It was kind of scary. Kind of is an understatement. I was worried about the staff I'd hired. I was worried about the business as a whole. I was also honestly like worried about my own ego, which is stupid, but I'm just going to admit it. I didn't want to admit that something wasn't working. And if we got in the other 4 flavors, I was scared that it still wouldn't work. But at the end of the day, no one cares. Like literally no one cares. So took the leap of faith and it is massively paid off. And one thing I touched on there very quickly, which I kind of jumped over and I want to go into more detail on, is hiring. So I've hired a very lean team for this. I'm very lucky because I have a consulting group. So I have people that work for me doing Google ads, Facebook ads. people that I refer to certain brands that I work with as well. So Google ads, Facebook ads, we've brought people in on those sectors. And obviously I run Facebook ads myself. And we brought in a customer service guy who is top drawer. And he's not only a customer service guy, but he's a sales guy as well. He knows how to speak to the customers. As you saw there in the last screenshot, the amount of returns we've had is just very, very minimal. It keeps the customers very happy. And he also like upsells customers, which I think is very important. You should train your customer service people to be customer service first, make sure the customer's happy. But also you should really think about having them become sales machines for you as well, because you're driving all of this traffic. So why not use it and utilize it as much as you can? Not to mention, he takes away so much work for me. I think if I had to deal with what he's doing, plus building the brand and consulting and all the other things I'm involved in, I think my head would genuinely explode and I would be single. Also, it's important to note that I decided to go for a 3PL with this brand. There's no way that I was doing it in-house or packing the orders myself. My other business is way too busy, and it's so much easier to just put it in a 3PL and just kind of let them do their job. I'm a big fan of just hiring people that are very good at what they do, well optimized. Makes life a lot easier. And I think as a brand owner, we're always guilty of trying to do everything, whether it be the Google ads, the Facebook ads, the logistics, back end, PR, like all of these things, creative. Sometimes you just need to hire somebody that's way better than you and just trust them. So that leads us to where we're at today. Recently, and this is not fun, we're about to get into the kind of moments. Recently, we had a load of stock, which was more of our new flavors land. HMRC let go of one pallet and sent them to our warehouse, and the other 2 pallets, they are asking for a load of certifications that we don't have, but we're in the process of getting. This is my fault. It's entirely my fault. I should have there's one piece of paperwork that we need that is in the process of being done. So we should have done that a long time ago. But I wanted to say I was concentrating on it, like I was busy. No, it should have been done, and it's my bad. Customs are holding it. I had to get my lawyer involved with it, so fortunately we're not having any holding fees. They got rid of the holding fee. So lawyer definitely paid his own wages there. But they are holding our product until we can get this certificate to them. We've got all the other certificates and certifications and just, I don't really know. They're all called like acronyms. So all of those documents you need to be able to sell product in the UK, which is cosmetic makeup product. So the other pallets, we've just been lucky. They have not been held by HMRC. And currently the product is in Hounslow near London, or in London. I don't know if Hounslow is in or just near London. But yeah, it's a headache. So this month we're at a 5.69 return on ad spend, which is great. I don't know why I just did those thumbs up. That was awful. But we're at £2,484. We spent 444 on ads. So we're super profitable. We look great, but we're now in Headache City. So as soon as that's cleared and I decide that I'm going to stop being an idiot and actually do the things that I need to do to get this brand in the right place, if it was a case of, oh yeah, like there's no restrictions, there's no certifications, nothing you need to abide by, we would just order in so much stock and we would scale. But that's just the way that I am, and I need to change that and take responsibility as a brand owner and never let that happen again. So I'm going to cut now to the subscriptions. I'm just going to pull them up so that you've got those numbers, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so I just pulled up the subscriptions. In the last 30 days, we've processed £4,307.03 In subscriptions, average order value is $29.50. But yeah, overall, the business is a success. I am going to scale it like crazy to heights that you have never seen before. No, you probably have seen heights like these before. But I'm going to scale this as far as I can. And the plan really is to run it up for 2.5, 3 years. And maybe the brand will be too big for me to handle, and it'll be the time for somebody else to take it on. I wanted to, maybe I'll make a separate video about that, but I've seen a lot of brand owners get brands to 500,000, even 1 million per month, and not realize that maybe what they have right now is actually bigger than they can handle, which is completely fine, by the way. And if you realize this, sometimes you can literally create generational wealth by just realizing, hey, I'm 32 or whatever, or 35 or whatever age it is, and you just go, this is just too big for me. I need an exit. So that's the plan, is to be responsible along every step of the journey, even if it means letting go of my baby. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm just going to look to my notes and see, is there anything else I needed to talk about? No. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be showing you everything. All the wins, all the losses, all the pain, and eventually all the glory. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe, comment, like, do all of those good things, and let me know if you have any questions down below. There's been a lot that I've spoke about in this video, so if there is anything that comes to mind, just drop a question down below. I'm going to make a point of commenting back to every single person that comments on this, unless the video blows up like crazy. I'll just try and do as many as I can. So again, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode. Stay tuned.